Hey y'all, it's Tony Speaks, and I'm on my porch and relaxing. It's raining outside, so y'all gonna hear cars and hopefully no sirens or anything, but whatever. But I wanted to talk about something because I haven't been feeling well. Yesterday it was like a rough day at work, and then when I came home, I was listening to a beautiful young lady's story about her experience with being a victim of child abuse and neglect, and it crushed me. This young lady is so much stronger than I was at that age because it took me back to a point in my life when I went through it. And I just could not stop crying last night. My eyes are still swollen. And thank God I didn't have to work today because I was so depleted from the emotions and everything from yesterday that I slept until 7 o'clock this evening. So on my day off. So I really was exhausted. But it's just sad. It's sad that this young lady is remarkable and strong and courageous. And then I thought at that time in my life, I was nowhere near that. At that time in my life, I was still in denial. I still had it in the back of my mind, and I was trying to convince myself that it did not happen. Had I had been more honest with myself and admitted it and came to terms with it, and maybe I would have been able to heal a lot faster. Here I am 40 years old and I'm still not healed. And I know I'm not healed because every time I hear a story of someone else's story, it takes me right back to that place in my life. And then I start crying. It's like, it's emotional because I'm like, it's not more of a why me. It's like, where were you thing. And that goes out to my mom and dad. And I'm being honest. Where were you when your daughter was going through that? So that leads me to a whole nother topic. And that's what this video is going to be about. Introverted children. See, as a teacher, I had to take some training classes on child abuse predators and molesters and abusers. And 99% of them prey on introverted children. Now, when I say an introverted child, this is my definition of an introverted child, as I was at the time. I was very quiet. I didn't speak until spoken to. I kept all my emotions in. I held everything in. I was very scary. I was very quiet. I read books and wrote more than I spoke. I didn't have a lot of friends like that. I don't even think I had any friends. I don't think I had really a lot of friends growing up. But I don't mean, okay, don't get me wrong, I don't want my friends who I met in 7th and 6th and 7th and 8th and 9th grade to get offended. No. Talking about when I was being abused, when I in 2nd and 3rd and 4th and 5th grade. And I held it in, and it's like I had older siblings, so I used to hide and cower behind my older siblings and let them fight battles for me because I was just scary. I was timid. I was quiet. I stayed to myself. Now, those are the type of children that predators prey on. Introverted children, because they know they're not going to tell. They can either threaten them, make them feel so bad, make them feel guilty like it was their fault, or just know in their heart of hearts that they're not going to tell. Especially if they get away with it the first time and there's no repercussions. I mean, they know that child didn't tell, and now they feel more comfortable for it to happen time and time again, if possible. And that's sexual, physical, verbal, anyway. So I want you, if you know, like I have a niece that's very introverted. I haven't seen her in years. And last time I saw her, I cried and cried and cried because I knew it was going to be years before I saw her again, just because of situations. And then I told her, and she was like, maybe 6 at the time. And I was like, please, if anybody is touching you, if anybody makes you feel uncomfortable, anybody, that's down to brother, mom, boyfriend, mom, teachers, friends. I said, you tell, you let somebody know. And that's exactly what I'm recording. That's exactly what I was concerned about, because I knew she was an introverted child. But this is what I'm saying to you parents. Pay more, I'm not more, but pay close attention to your introverted child. If you have a child that seems more quiet, more docile, more inside, like more in themselves, opposed to outspoken, bad, boisterous type of child, just wilder, if they're more quiet and all, pay close attention and hold them closely. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart, because those are the ones that the predators are, that's the one they want. They don't want Junior over here that's cutting up and loud and who you ain't my daddy, you ain't my mom. They don't want that child, because that child is going to let it be known what's going on. That child is going to talk. That child is going to tell. That child turns them off. The child that turns them on is that quiet one. The one that's in the background. The one that's in the shadows. The one that is super quiet. The one that is meek, docile, low self-esteem, sad, depressed. They want that child. That's the one that they want to prey on. That's the one that they want to get alone. That's the one. Your introverted child. So just please pay attention. And I want to know if y'all agree with me or not. Because I honestly feel like that in my heart and in my soul. And it's sad. It's just sad altogether. I mean, the entire situation is sad. But it's reality, and it's what we have to go through in life. Now, me as a child, I was sexually, verbally, and physically abused. Not by just one person. Excuse me, y'all, my eyelashes, like, right there. Not by just one person. By multiple people. And you're like, how did that happen? How did all these people touch this little girl? How did all these people was able to abuse this child? Where was her parents? I'm still asking that same question at the age of 40. I was done a disservice, and I feel like I was failed as a child. And I'm not a victim, I am a survivor. But I don't feel like a survivor sometimes because of how detrimental it was. And it goes way deeper. It goes way deeper. That I'll probably harp on later when I'm willing to share more. But it goes way deeper. That what I have suffered all through adulthood from things that was done to me as a child. Things that was said to me, things that was done to me. It was horrible. It was hideous. Be careful who you have around your children. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Just because they love you, don't mean that they love your children. Let me say that again. Just because they love you, doesn't mean that they love your children. And if you get your ass and your head out of the fucking clouds, pay attention how they treat your children. Listen to your children's words when they try to tell you things or show you signs that this person is not the best person to be around them. If their personalities change since this person been around, pay attention. Pay attention. Once you brought your children into this earth, it is your responsibility to protect and care for them. And if removing somebody out of your life is protecting and caring for your children, that's the sacrifice you have to make, because you signed on that dotted line when you decided to become a parent. Just pay attention to your introverted children. I had a stepfather, and yeah, I'm going to speak on this part, that was so evil and mean to me. He hated me. He hated me. And I couldn't understand why. Because I came from a father loving me so much and so hard, to him and my mom divorcing. And now here's a man that hates the ground I walk on. And I'm only 7. I got introduced to this man when I was 7 years old. And so began the life of being bullied and tormented. According to him, I was hideous. I was fat. This when once I became fat, because when he first met me, I wasn't. But becoming depressed and lonely and in solitude all the time, I drunk. I didn't eat. I used to drink a lot. Water. Huge cups of water. Just any liquid. Mostly water, though, because that's all we kind of had in the house. And I used to drink. And I got big because I wasn't exercising, just drinking all the time. I used to drink to get myself full on days we didn't have any food in the house. So then became the fat jokes. Oh my God, you're so ugly. You so fat, black, and ugly. You so fat, black, and ugly. You're so ugly. I can't believe a woman this fine. Because it's talking to my mom. I can't believe a woman this fine had something that looked like you. Oh, you so ugly. When he get drunk, he would make jokes. Him and his friends cracking. You know, he's have his friends over and they all getting drunk and turning up. And I'm a child, and he would call me, like if my mom wasn't home, he would call me out of the room, down to where his friends was, make me stand there while he just put me down. Or he just put me down. And they laugh. I start crying or whatever. And one time he was like, yo, we should start using this bitch as target practice. We should start throwing beer bottles at her head. And then one of his drunk friends, oh, no, don't do that. And they just steady cracking up laughing. I run to the room crying. My mom come home. He tells my mom, oh, she's being disrespectful. She's being so bad. She's being this. And what do? Get a beating. My mom comes and beat me. Put me on punishment. Because this man lies. And it's no matter what I said, I couldn't, so I suffered a lot. I endured a lot. So when I watched this young lady's video last night, and when she mentioned the stepmom, oh yeah, I believe that, because that's exactly what happened to me. I could be home all day, out of school, writing poems and stuff, and reading my book in my room, because when that man was around, I didn't want to be around him, so I would stay locked in my room. My mom comes in from work. What did you do to him? What did you say to him? I didn't do nothing. It was horrible. So then I tried to find a way to escape by spending the night out at my friends' houses. So-called friends. They wasn't really my friends. They were just like kids I knew in school. But at that time, as a 7, 8-year-old, you think they're your friends. So that's when the molestation and sexual abuse came into play. Because they had stepfathers. They had brothers. They had cousins. They had uncles. They had fathers. And it's just horrible, y'all. I was an introverted child. It's horrible. And then when my sister's like, oh, that ain't happened to me. That didn't happen to me. Oh, he ain't do that to me. Because y'all was loud. Y'all was boisterous. Y'all spoke y'all opinions. One of my sisters, she was a fighter. She was belligerent. You're not the one that he's seeking out. You're not the one that, so just because something happened to me doesn't mean that it's not believable. It's just we can live in the same house, have different personalities, and go through different experiences and still be siblings. That's just life. But I want y'all to pay attention to your introverted children, your quiet children, your shy one, your timid child, the one that's in the shadows, that's in the background, the ones that lays low and it doesn't cause a fuss and sticks to themselves. And pay attention to that child. I'm pay attention to all your children, but especially that one. And here I am, 40 years old, and the scars are still open. The wounds are still there. The pain, the humiliation, the smell, the memories, the recollection. It's all still there. And it's horrible. It's horrible. If I can just take every child in the world and lay a protective blanket over them, I would. If I could. But I really want you to take from this message that if a child says that they was abused, don't tell them that they're lying. Until you have factual proof that you can prove that they're lying, don't tell them they're lying. Don't tell them you don't believe them. Don't, oh, that's not what they said. They said, don't do that. Don't do that. You wasn't there. You don't know. Of course the abuser's not going to admit it. Most abusers don't. It's horrible. It's degrading. It can leave scars on them for a lifetime. It can leave wounds that will continuously bleed. They might have to go to therapy. They might have to do a lot of coping mechanisms. And it's still there. The pain is still there. I'm living proof of that. I'm 40. I help others. I do. I help a lot of people. When I can and if I can, even if it's with just a kind word, a conversation, a hug, I try to help, but that still has not erased the scars that happened to me as a child. And I never told. I didn't even tell my father what happened to me as a child until maybe 3 years ago. I finally had enough courage. This is when I was battling cancer. And honestly, I thought I was going to die. And I wanted him to know what I experienced in his absence. And I sat him and my stepmother down and I told them what occurred. When I was 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. 11. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So don't ever tell a child that they're lying or you don't believe them, because you don't know. And it takes a lot of courage to come out. And there's a lot of people to this day that hasn't came out or hasn't admitted it or will never tell their story. But just because they're embarrassed, they're ashamed of the backlash. See, I told you I'm outside and here come the sirens. But yes, y'all, just don't do that, y'all. It's horrible. It's horrible enough that you have to admit that people what happened to you. Because it's embarrassing. Because you know people are going to judge you. And 50% is not going to believe you. Especially your family. Those are the main ones. So, just please pay attention to your introverted child. Please protect and care. Because I took a lot of training classes. When I was in school, I worked as a teacher. I know this as facts. From what I went through and what I've learned, it's very true. But yeah, y'all just be safe and protect the kids and pay attention and listen to their words and pay attention. Alright, Tony Speaks. Go down in the comment area and tell me how you feel and everything. And I love you. Tony has spoken.